just do the ending.
Good morning.
How are you?
Stacy tries to be cool and like throw it.
Like, the beat drop. I like right where it ends. I kind of do like this, and then I go. I'm always too early.
Always true. It didn't work.
That's okay.
Didn't work. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. She just like drove up here. Must have left at like 6 a.m.
Pretty much. Early drives. It's funny with this time of year. Again, we're in Canada. Things are very different when the time change happens.
Yeah.
So we end up leaving when it's dark, and then we look outside at like 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we look outside and it's dark again.
Yeah, it's always dark.
Very, very short. But apparently we're here in this part of the country. Apparently we're changing that.
Yes.
I heard a rumor that we're no longer going to change times.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens when we don't.
I don't even know why they, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of daylight savings time? Does anyone know? I don't really know.
All I know is because I'm from the east coast of Canada, I remember one time, I believe it was Newfoundland. Anybody that is out there can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was Newfoundland that tried it one time.
Okay.
And it was like light out at like 11:30 at night.
Right.
Because somehow with the sun and I don't know, something.
Yeah. So we don't know what time we're on. We'll just keep checking and we'll figure it out as we go. So
exactly.
So you haven't been up here in a while. You haven't been in the studio back.
It's been a while. Yeah. I think it's almost been a month.
Yeah.
Which is actually crazy. So it's interesting when you pack. So typically when you go somewhere quite frequently,
yeah.
You know the stuff that you have at different locations and don't, and you know how to pack. Like back in the summer, I could pack in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No problem.
Everything was here.
I was like, I knew what to grab. I threw it in a basket and I was on my way. And then today I had to go, well, what do I have there? What do I don't have? What do I need to pack? And it took me longer.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't in routine.
And I'm just here. So just a fixture on the wall.
But it's like, well, what's the weather going to be like? Because when you're in Northern Ontario, sometimes the weather can change in a minute.
Yeah,
so I was like, I need to bring
cooler.
Multiple jackets, multiple pairs of boots, and mucklucks.
Mucklucks. So what was the word? I know we should be training you guys, but it's just funny to me. So we were working really diligently for the last couple of weeks, and then Stacy said some random phrase that I'd never heard of it. What's it called?
Whip stitch.
Whip stitch.
I said it never happens. I don't even know what I said, but something in a whip stitch. It completely shut the meeting down.
Because I was like, what? What is that?
So sometimes you don't realize either A, where you're from.
Right.
And I'll talk about that after. B, like your parents, like words that they would use.
Right.
And how it has impacted like sayings.
Yeah.
Right. So again, being from the east coast of Canada, I bring forward sayings that either came from my parents or from that area of the country.
And then my job is to point out that no one ever knows what she's talking about.
Which was interesting. So over the weekend, we had, so my son brought a friend home from Ukraine. Mm-hmm. So you think they celebrate Christmas. He's not able to go home this year for Christmas. So we brought him and he was able to help us decorate the tree, et cetera, et cetera. But when you think about the things that you do for the holidays. Yeah. So for example, it's Saturday, we're getting out the tree and we're getting out our stockings. And we're putting them up. And he goes, well, what are these?
Why are you putting socks up?
He didn't know. And I guess I love learning about different people's traditions. I love learning, you talk about your parents and how they grew up. And I love learning about different people's traditions. But when you think about how somebody celebrates the same holiday that you do, you don't think about the idiosyncrasies, the differences. Right. You think, well, it's Christmas. You celebrate Christmas. This is what we do at Christmas.
Right. Because, because Christmas is all about stockings full of presents.
So, but I think what was fascinating was that like I had a hard time explaining.
Right.
Because when you do things year after year, and since you've been a child, you don't necessarily question the why.
Right.
Why do we hang stockings? I mean, I know Kris Kringle and the whole story behind it, but why do you do it continually in the year 2022?
Right.
So we hang our stockings and stuff like that. And so he was questioning why we were doing it. And it kind of, all of us kind of looked at each other. We're like,
we don't know. It's true.
Because it's what we've always done.
Yeah. And so you continually do the same thing, which is a bit of a lesson for business
and
too, right?
Exactly. you keep along the family traditions,
Yeah.
but does it make sense for your business to keep doing what you've always done?
Right. Usually not. Or if it's working really well, okay. But I think the lesson is really more about questioning, like question why you're doing something, right?
Yeah.
Why do you keep doing it? It's kind of like, I know we have a lot of clients that are corporate clients that are always putting ads in the local newspaper. And, our first question is, nobody reads newspapers. Why are you putting it in the newspaper? Yeah. And it still costs $1 zillion, right? To put an ad in, like it's ridiculous. And so it's the same thing because, you thought that's the way you normally market. That's what you do. That's how you get business. And when you realize that, the world is changing, it's kind of like even in social media, it changes so fast. We were just having a conversation. We're talking about trends. And I forwarded Stacey an article that basically said Instagram is over, right?
Exactly.
And for a certain people, like we're kind of feel like that about Facebook. And now it's like people are going, well, there's no point. We don't go there anymore. So
that's very true.
If you're spending a lot of money on Facebook ads and Instagram ads that used to work and they're not working now, and we've had that experience, all of a sudden you're like, I don't understand why this isn't working. Well, it's because people have left the platform. They're using new things. There's new opportunities. And we're going to talk a lot about it at our workshop that we'll invite all our members to in January, that we're talking about trends. But it's really fascinating because there are still certain platforms that continually perform, and we'll talk about that. But the other ones are kind of like dying a slow, little painful death.
Well, it was actually interesting. So I have a presentation next week.
Yes.
That's talking about sort of basically the landscape of social media. So sort of what's going on in today's world. So I took an old presentation. So I don't know how you do presentations, but I typically take an older one and then I update it because there's no point in sort of starting from scratch and recreating the wheel. So I took an older presentation and I started updating it. And I realized like how much had changed
in like a year.
I was like, well, I can't say that anymore. Well, I can't say that anymore. Well, hang on a second, because this used to be first and now it has to be over here. So I kind of had to, obviously I still had, the slides were still relevant, but what I'm saying is different.
Yeah.
Because it changes so fast. And that actually I had to write that in going, things change so fast, which is why the trends and what's happening and all of that stuff is just so crucial. It's such a great way to start your year because kind of what's going on and what's happening, because so much has changed over the past year. Like I'm like, here it is December.
Yeah.
And I'm already like, wait a minute. Like if I had done this presentation in February, I'd be saying something different. Yeah. Like it all changes so fast.
And I think it's really important for, rather than you shut down or become a turtle and hide under your shell, there are options, right? So you just need to stay in touch with people that are following. And, that's one of the reasons we created the network that we're launching in January. Part of it is we love staying current on trends, finding out what the latest and greatest is. And rather than a lot of people have to figure it out, we just give it to you, right? So you connect with us on our training and we show you exactly what's working and we give you, here's what you need to do. So even if you're not part of our network, the learning here is simply make sure you're staying focused on what's working. You don't need to know everything, but you need to know what's not working so that you stop spending your money. Because I think the difference is, so what our workshop is in January is what's working and what's not working in 2023, because it's equally as important to understand that, the money that you've invested here really isn't going to give you the same return on investment. And that's really key. So if you're spending, $10 for customer acquisition on a certain platform, it might be costing you now. It did in the past for the last 2 years, cost you $10. Now it might be costing you $30.
Yeah.
And is there a better way to do all that? That's really key, and that's what you need to make sure that you're paying attention to. So regardless, I mean, we're going to invite you guys in. You guys are loyal listeners. We're going to invite you in to this workshop for free, and we're going to let you become a member in our network so that you can access it.
Yes.
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 So I'm talking to Tech Girl, who I just do the invites. I just invite people.
Yes.
Come on in. And then I go, Stacy, make it happen. And then I go,
we're going to do what?
So that's going to be in January. So
yes.
Make sure we will put the link out probably next week so that you can get on the wait list and make sure that you secure your spot, because you'll actually be able to interact with us. It's going to be it's going to be via.
I was going to use my phone and I realized that's all connected to my phone. I'm not using my phone right now.
So if you join
us,
us,
find the link. I was going to be all excited. I was going to be on top of things. Look in the comments below. Yeah, I will post the link.
Yeah, so we're going to be, it's a limited, obviously, of who can actually interact with us on Zoom. You can still watch it,
yes,
but there'll be a limited. So if you sign up early, you'll get instant access, and we're going to just give it to you for all of even our free members in January, so that you'll be able to ask questions and say, hey, how can I do this? How can I use the trend that you've identified in my own business to make it work better?
And how can you, I'm not going to use the word from 2020. I'm not going to use the word pivot. I need another word. How can I adjust my marketing strategy and my social media strategy based on if my previous strategy was using sort of this platform or this trend or whatever? How can I do things differently? How can I implement? How can I adjust what I'm doing so that I can do sort of what's current? Because there is a lot of changes. There's actually very interesting, again, going back to the presentation I was doing. So, back in 2020, even, one of the trends was video. So, of course, one of my slides was, use more video. I mean, no, it didn't say that. And obviously I went into detail on how to do it, stuff like that. But that's not a trend anymore. That's just part of our normal way. So now it is more specific. So it's not just be on video. It's now, how are you using video? What are you doing? How are you posting it? Where are you posting it? What types of videos are you doing? So video is now just a standard. And now it becomes more into, stories and reels and TikToks and all of this other stuff. So it's quite an interesting shift in such a short time.
And I think it's one of those things, I'm going to say it again, that it scares everybody and they want to hide. So what we're trying to do for you guys is to give you one strategy, like pick one and then go ahead and implement it, right? Because if you download anybody's, 2023 trends, you'll see about 10 or 20 each, and they're all fairly detailed. And then what you will do generally is shut that document or video and say, I can't do this. My brain has no more room left for it.
That's true.
So we're going to give you, in our workshop, we're going to let you take one and we're going to show you how you can just implement the one. And if it starts working, cool, then maybe you implement the second one. But there's nothing that says you must do everything that we've told you to do.
Can you imagine?
We don't even do everything.
People would shut down.
No, we don't do everything that we say is a trend. We pick the ones that work for us. So the reason we're going to share all of them with you is because there might be ones that don't work for us, but they work for you. So we want to make sure that we give you guys the opportunity to choose the ones that work for you. And we'll show you how you actually choose the right one, right? Because, I sometimes it drives me nuts when people go, oh, here are the top 10 things you should do. And how do you know? How do you know this is the thing for you, right? Yeah. It's kind of like when you're doing ideation, you're coming up with new ideas. How do you know which one is the right one to do? Like you can use focus groups and stuff, and there's lots of different metrics you can use, but you need to at least understand what kind of things you can do to measure what will bring you success.
And also understanding, again, I think the biggest thing is to understand that what works for one business. Mm-hmm. So, my biggest joke, back many years ago was, my friends, fathers, dogs, uncles, whatever, this worked for them, therefore it must work for me. And it doesn't work like that anymore. Just because it worked for one thing, one business.
That was your joke?
Wow. That's how we're starting the day, eh?
Sorry.
Clearly, I'm funny. You need to come to more of my presentations. So, starting the day off well today.
I haven't seen you in so long. I thought you might miss me.
But it doesn't work like that anymore. So what works? But I'm focused.
That's the line that we're supposed to laugh.
So when we go through everything, focus with me. Focus, people, focus. What works for one business doesn't work for another. That's why we want to give you all of the different options. And we're literally going to admit, you know what, these are the ones we're implementing. Yeah. This does not work for us, and here's why. Yeah. And here's why it could work for your business, because our business and our focus and our customer, they're different. Yeah. Than what yours
and that's
could be.
The best thing is to try to find people that will share what they're doing. That's what we're doing. We're going to tell you. You ask us anything you want about our business, and we'll tell you. You say, you know, what kind of ads you're doing, what kind of click rates are you getting on your lead magnets? What are you offering? How do your offers differ? Are you going to do split tests? We'll answer you. So that's the beauty of being in a community that's really there for you to make a difference in your business.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Awesome.
So what else is new other than all that?
You laughing at me?
Now she doesn't want to talk. Did you know she's shut down because she thinks I'm making fun of her? You make fun of me. You know what I watched this week? I watched Wednesday. Addams Family Wednesday. Yeah. I love her. She's my idol.
So fun. Oh my God. I cannot tell you. I literally watched one episode. So no spoiler alerts. I've watched one.
I watched the whole thing.
Love it. But on TikTok now, every second TikTok is about Wednesday.
She's
like amazing. The actress that portrays her is amazing. The
lines, like, congrats to whoever wrote it. I know amazing. Tim Burton directed it, whoever the writer is. She's got zingers. I love that girl.
And she is trying I watched one and she's trying very hard to sort of pay homage to the original. Yeah. So there's things in that movie that she's making a decision about. There's dance choreography that is now a TikTok dance that she choreographed. And she's like, I can't dance. Yeah. Like, I love that. I love the fact that she took it. Like, she literally, like, in a meeting with Tim Burton was like, you know, I need this dance thing. She goes, I'll make that happen. I'll choreograph it. And she left going, I'm in trouble. I don't know how to dance. I don't know how to choreograph anything, but she did it. And I love the fact that she took a chance. Yeah. And now not only did she take that chance, she made it happen. It's in the series, and it's now a TikTok dance that people are copying, and she can't believe that happened.
Well, I could like recite every line she said. I would like it to come out of my mouth.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
So it's a great show, and the reason I brought it up is because I think it's funny. And this is again, it's a good learning in terms of anything you're doing in life, because it was not a show I was going to watch at all.
Yeah, you weren't.
I wasn't going to watch it. I was a Munster fan, not an Addams Family fan, although I watched Addams Family. Anyway, so I had 3 messages from people that said, you need to watch this. And then one of them in particular said, you need to watch this because you talk a lot like Wednesday. And I'm like, okay, that's good enough for me. And I was like, I'll watch one, I'll, make them happy, and then I'll stop. But then literally the credits came on and it was directed by Tim Burton. I'm like, oh, well, this has got to be good. Yeah. And so I was hooked. I couldn't stop watching. And then I was a little bit afraid. I was like, should I text Stacey and tell her I'm watching this? Because she'll think I'm crazy. But I'm going to do it anyway. And you watched. Shocking.
I still find it crazy. Yeah. But no, it was really good. Loved it. And again, watching some of the stuff from the actress, and I love Catherine Zeta-Jones, and she's Morticia. So I think she's doing a great job.
But I think what's interesting in that I didn't want to watch it. Don't judge a book by its cover. Yeah. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't think it was going to be anything that was remotely interesting to me. And then I ended up loving it and telling people about it. So it's the same kind of thing. We just had somebody actually ask us, well, how, they're interested in working with us. Well, how do you guys teach? Right? How do you guys teach?
Yeah. What does that look
because
like?
We only see your, pictures on the front of your landing pages. And, we both said, well, just jump on our YouTube channel because we're there. Right? And so you're going to like us or not, but it gives you an opportunity to, go into the book and see if it's somebody that you would like to learn from. So I think it was a good lesson, because shame on me for immediately thinking that the show was going to be lame. Yeah. And it ended up being probably one of the ones that I would recommend more than anything I've seen in the last little while. So, so if you're listening to us and you're still listening to us, then that means that you might like us and you might like how we teach. So you would be a perfect person to come into our network. And you can actually go to our wait list right now, because for the first 5,000 members, we don't start till January, but you can get a free membership so that you'll be able to access some certain content. We have to limit it, so it's the first 5,000 members that sign up. So you can go and secure your spot on our wait list. And when you do, you're guaranteed the spot. It's not like, oh, sorry, you ran out of spaces, because when we get to the number, we're going to shut it down. We're going to shut the wait list down, and we're just going to say, sorry, you can come and be a paid member or a premium member that is obviously has huge benefits to it. But even if, you're saying to yourself, I can't really afford to go into proper training, like full-time masterminds and stuff, and you've already followed us on this is an opportunity for you to get even more information from us and to join our workshop in January. So grab that link. Stacy's going to put it up.
I've got it finally.
See, because I just throw things out in the middle of our conversations, and Stacy cringes the entire time because she's like, what link is she going to throw out today?
Exactly. So we have the mastermind.city / the -network waitlist.
Right.
And that is on your screen, but it'll also be in the caption below.
Right, there you go.
Which is awesome.
So if you're not sick of us yet, we'd like you to join us and, and share your thoughts and tell us. And listen, if you're listening to us, we know a lot of you continue to listen to us week after week. So if there's something you want us to address or talk about, if there's something that you're thinking, I want to know what's up with this. I've heard people are using this in their business. Is this going to be something that we can use in ours? Then go ahead and drop us a line and let us know. And we would be happy to talk about it next time.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, we are going to bid you farewell this morning. I believe that there is a hiccup with our camera and we're not really sure why. So you're seeing beautiful face right now, and that's okay.
Awesome.
But you have a great week, and we will see you here next time on Hot Topics, the Network Weekly. What should we call it?
Whatever you guys want. The Dancing Monkey Show.
There we go. We need to rebrand it completely.
Bye, guys.